But like, even if it's like nice, even if it's very nice.
Hello.
Getting drier.
Hey Julian. Journalism's not a crime.
We the people are quite nice, you'll find. It's just the government that's the problem. They're the ones that want to cause all the problems and take away your inalienable rights.
The government doesn't kill other governments. The government doesn't kill people. It's people who take orders from the government that kill people.
Well said, Steve. The government doesn't kill people. The government orders people to kill people.
From the safety of their bunkers. From the safety of their bunkers. What a beautiful day. We're alive in the most beautiful country in the world, and we're here to try and make it better. Because it can be an example of the world, this country, but it's a failure at the moment. Because if we don't stand for human rights in our own country, for our own citizens, what the hell does our government stand for?
Look at all the people queuing up.
And staring. All you have to do is turn on any mainstream media, including our ABC and SBS, and critically analyse the news stories. You will find that they are not the truth. They're not even white lies. They're very, very carefully planned and worded propaganda. And the repetition of the lies is what is used to create mass formation. Mass formation psychology is all about getting you to believe a false narrative. It's really important to stop tuning in to the mainstream media, because they will take you down their rabbit hole.
They'll lead you on a merry dance.
And their rabbit hole is designed to scare you. And once you're scared, you will believe and follow anyone that offers to lead you. That's how it works.
Someone said this week, if the government and the media wanted us to hate Ukrainians, it would only take a week. everybody. How you doing? Thank you guys. We are in a situation where Julian Assange has exposed war crimes and he's been put in prison rather than the perpetrators of these crimes. And he's been effectively detained for over 12 years, or approximately 12 years. He wasn't charged for the first 10 years. He was just kept in prison, kept detained, wrongfully accused of being a rapist. Wars are very good for war profiteers, but they're very bad for everybody else. Everybody loses. That's why we're here. War crimes have got to stop. I'm going to sing a song and try and cheer us up a little bit. I hope you like a little song. Oh, I love this one. Come fly with me, let's fly away. What if you can use some exotic views as a bar in Dublin? Come fly with me, let's fly away. Yeah. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Lava Land, there's a one-man band and he'll toot his throat for you. And fly with me, let's take off in the boat. Once I get you up there, where the air is so rarefied, we'll just glide, we'll be starlight. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. Baby, you're gonna hear a little angel cheer. Where to get otherwise such a groovy day. Yeah, cheer up, folks. Say one word, repeat the words up to Byron Bay. It's perfect for a flyer honeymoon. And they all say, come fly with me, let's fly away. Once I get you up there, where the air is so rarefied, we'll just glide, starlight. Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near, and you might even hear the angels cheer, 'cause we're together. Otherwise, such a lovely day. Oh yeah, just say the words and we'll beat the birds down to Byron Bay. Baby, perfect, butterfly, honeymoon, they all say. Come fly, Julian, come fly back home. Fly back home to us. We're here to stop the damn war crimes. The war crimes, destroying countries, killing innocent people, while the profiteers say.
I think the extradition has not happened yet from UK.
No. We can't relax. No, I put a little on it.
So is this, see, this could be purely spontaneous because of the propaganda on the TV. Or it could be that they're all each got $50 in their pocket. Thank you.
It's theatre, isn't it?
It's amazing how these politicians will sell their people out. The people fall for it.
No, because the USA is their master. But it shifts to, it's not the British Empire anymore.
Anyway, it's stopped Putin's war,
Yeah.
it's not stopped the war.
Nothing about Victoria Newland organising a coup and putting in a terrorist government.
Welcome to the 119th week of Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gatherings. Since December 2010, when the arbitrary detention of Julian Assange began, we have gained evidence the UK government is intensely corrupt. As the Assange saga has played out, it has become apparent that we shouldn't believe anything any governments or media say. We have damning evidence. The US, UK, Sweden and Ecuador conspired to torture and imprison Julian, and the government of Australia and the world's media have been complicit. This profound evidence is important in understanding how the world works. Everyone who is grounded in this understanding knows there is global tyranny that we must acknowledge and deal with. While Julian remains without his freedom, journalism itself is not free. We therefore stand here at Sydney Town Hall every Friday to ask people to be open to truthful information derived from hard evidence. Many people have been deceived by governments and the media, and they think they don't need to be concerned about what happens to Julian. But the persecution of Julian must concern us all. Please be kind to yourself and be open to the truthful information that will help you and people you love. The seriousness of the situation is apparent when we become aware that Julian Assange is an innocent, award-winning Australian journalist who is gradually being murdered through solitary confinement and willful medical neglect. And the evidence tabled against him is that he exposed corruption and war crimes. Julian's health had been visibly declining before he was illegally moved by force from Ecuador's embassy to Belmarsh prison in April 2019. And since that time, his health has deteriorated further to the point where he has suffered a mini-stroke. The depravity of our governments and media becomes plain to everyone who is aware of the relevant facts. Until we, the people, are aware of what is really going on, governments who are in lockstep with the global elite will continue to get away with the murder of innocent people. We must all be awake so that we can unite and stand up for human decency. The journalism of Julian Assange is important for us all, and until he is free, none of us can be free. Waiting for corrupt governments to change their ways will not bear fruit. If we want to be free, it is up to each one of us to become aware and unite for the freedom of Julian Assange. The work of Julian Assange has made it clear that we must have evidence and that our actions must be based on evidence. Through WikiLeaks, Julian Assange gave us scientific journalism so that we would have the evidence on which to base our actions. The targeted persecution of Julian Assange demonstrates that scientific journalism is powerful. We must realise that through evidence we gain truth that gives us power. With truth we can unite. We must free the journalist that has made it possible for us to free ourselves. Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Thank you.
The power shall not make a laws for acquisition of personal property unless on fair terms. That particular section gives you such a broad arguments. Julian Assange is a citizen. Citizenship is his personal property given to him now. Currently, if the government of Commonwealth made any law which is currently depriving Julian from use of his personal property or his rights which are protected by citizenship, and so any law which is done and can be found out is currently out of the constitutional power of the Commonwealth. Arguments can be laid on this basis as well. And from the point of the government obligation regarding Julian, in the situation where he's ended up now, government have constitutional obligations to comply with all internal laws, whatever they are currently they are breaching in relation to Julian imprisoned in another country for what he is imprisoned for. And plus, if you have a look, any kind of bilateral agreements between the USA and Australia, UK and Australia, you can go deep down, you can find that Australia have a duty actively, constantly, to demand a release of the Julian persistently all the time on each level. And if UK signed an agreement regarding something and UK breaching that agreement regarding citizens of the Australia and the general any situation, the UK can be in the probably European Court of Justice or whatever, sued as well.
The people from The Guardian, New York Times, Der Spiegel, who work with Assange, consider Julian to be of a lesser class. Not a real journalist like them. Not like David Lee or Luke Harding, who were educated at the British schools like Cambridge or Oxford. They thought Julian to be an upstart from the British colonies. Not at all like them. Many of the journalists today are interested in protecting themselves and are too scared to report the truth or stand up for Julian Assange. Not only is the issue a matter of extreme urgency, given Julian's ill health, the freedom of the press and the people's right to know is at stake. We cannot rely on government or big business to do the right thing. They will only look after their own best interests. Obama looked at the case against Julian and decided that in order to prosecute Assange, all journalists would need to be held to the same standards. The New York Times published ahead of WikiLeaks, and so their editors would need to be held accountable, the same as Assange. That changed with the head of the CIA, Mike Pompeo. You know him, the guy who giggled that members of the CIA are trained to lie, cheat and steal. Many US citizens would be upset to hear that the red, white and blue publishers at the New York Times would be held accountable. So Pompeo called WikiLeaks, an intern our Australian publisher and award-winning journalist, a hostile intelligence agent. That way they could persecute and prosecute an Australian and claim he had no rights under the US Constitution as a foreign national and alien to the United States. A dirty and dishonest tactic that anyone who lies, cheats and steals would be proud of. The United States public would not be outraged as a result, and the lies and smears that stated Julian was a smelly and yucky guy meant many members of the Australian public would be reticent to call out the disgusting treatment of one of their own citizens. WikiLeaks uncovered stories that embarrassed the powerful. Information like the torture of prisoners at Guantanamo Bay, illegal US drone strikes, the Clinton emails, which showed her disdain for the voters and the way Sanders was not given a chance in the primaries, the collateral murder video showing the Reuters journalists being killed and the children who were badly injured while the Apache helicopter crew laughed will never be forgotten. The leaders of the US government and their agencies want vengeance. I wonder what would have happened if Julian took the road of capitalism and became a wealthy tool. How much would we have missed? He may have been approached by shadow governments, but he was too good for that. Julian was brave enough to stand up to the most powerful people in the world and bring us the truth of corruption and crimes that lurk in the shadows. If they were to take Julian to the square and drag, hang, draw and quarter him like they did with William Wallace, people would be revolted and hopefully rise up in response. But make no mistake, what they're doing to Julian is repulsive and wicked. The result might be the same, though slower and maybe even crueler in some respects, while they destroy his life. We need to stand up for Julian Assange so that he can be free to spend time with his young family and enjoy his life. Free inmate, our mate, Julian Assange.
Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Zelensky is a shill.
We are all Assange.